Hi, Dave from DWS Outdoor. I'm going to go over how to sharpen your fillet knife. I'll go into more detail about what type of blade and the different methods, but today we're going to focus on, it's called the V flat ground blade. If you wanted to look it up, it just basically means that both sides of the blade are even as far as the cut. So when you're sharpening it, it makes it really simple. I was actually kind of surprised. I was talking to a couple different people today about cleaning fish, and they were having problems because they didn't have a sharp blade. And that's 100% of your problem if you can't clean fish. Okay, obviously you need to have good technique. I have great videos on my channel that actually will allow you to basically learn step by step. And any questions, I mean, I'm always willing to help people learn a little bit better, a little faster. It took me 20 years to master this technique, but I'm hoping I can speed up the process for everybody else. So I'm just going to basically show you what I've learned is the easiest way. And like I said, this is with the V flat blade. So I have a standard Rapala 6-inch knife. I'll have little descriptions so you can actually see what I have here. But it's really simple and difficult at the same time. It's just like filleting a fish. So this is your sharpening steel. I've had this for quite some time. I'll actually put a description in the video. So you can order one if you want to get one. They're pretty cheap. I mean, considering I've been using it for about 8 years, it's been paid for over and over again, and it's still working great. This one's got a diamond coating basically on it that will allow you to sharpen any steel blade, but it's a very fine grit. You don't want to use a heavy one because basically your knife will just disappear as you're sharpening it because it keeps taking more and more material off as you sharpen it. So the simplest way I've found to do this, which there are many, many different ways of doing this. Most chefs' preferred way are like a stone or a honing ceramics. It's like the rod, but it's ceramic. You can make it laser sharp. A really good, good person with a good sharpening stick can do it really good. So I'm going to show you and then basically describe this to you afterwards. So I hold the steel vertical like this, and the blade's going to go facing down. It's as simple as, so I'm going to start up by the protective stop. There's a lot of people that go towards themselves, and that's actually why this is here, so you can't cut yourself, but I've done it. So I switched mine up and went to going away. So, what you do is you start on one side. I just did the left side, then the right side. So it's and I know you're all confused right now because I didn't say anything about how you're doing this. But it's as simple as 10 on one side, 10 on the other side. I like to do 30, it's like 15 and 15. And I will do that in between each fish, or say every 3 or 4 fish if I'm cleaning bluegills or something. While I tend to have tougher scales, so you'll sharpen it like per fish or whatever. But to get into depth of what I'm talking about is your blade has an angle to the sharp part of the edge. That angle, the only way I can describe it to make it really simple for you, if you've ever cleaned fish and you've skinned them, which is how I clean all my stuff. I like it no bones, no skin, and it keeps it real simple. I can use it for a million different things. I cook a lot, so is the angle you're holding it at, or the tilt you could even say, because it's microns, millimeters, is the angle that you would be taking, like if you were to be taking a piece of skin off of a fish. It's that same angle. So that's what you're looking for. And trust me, It takes a long time and a lot of practice to get this exactly right. Like I said, about 20 years of me cleaning fish. My mom always made me clean her fish. So it just made me better because cleaning a lot of fish in my life will get you used to dulling a blade because you don't know what you're doing or whatever. I always recommend getting something cheap. This is a Fillet knife, and it's fairly cheap. It's like $11 to $15, but it'll hold an edge if you know how to sharpen it. And that's the big thing is don't waste your money on $100 knife because you know it's got a good edge. Because once it goes dull, if you don't know how to sharpen it, you'll actually wreck the blade. And once you wreck the blade on a $100 knife, all that's left to do is buy another $100 knife. So save your money, buy two cheap setups, right off the bat, and practice. And when I say practice, it means, don't be afraid of keeping 2 or 3 little gills, 6 to 7 inches, every time you go out, just to clean them, because you can always make a sandwich out of them. You can ball them up like I do sometimes, make hush puppies or little bluegill cakes. But practice. And the really big thing is once you get used to your angles on here and your angles cleaning the fish and you put it all together, it kind of becomes like an assembly line or a product line. You just start from the beginning and you work your way through. I have a method basically. I lay out my bowl of water, my fish, my knife, some towels to wipe my knife off, keep it clean. That's another big thing that I've noticed helps is you keep the blade clean when you're cleaning fish, and then you don't end up cutting through extra scales and all that stuff. And like I said, I have another video that you can watch. But like I said, once you get used to this angle, that's the key. So once you're able to do this, the biggest thing is, so this is how I hold my knife. My finger's on the back of the tang here, and I have my pinky down at the butt. That's why I kind of like this cheap knife in the sense that it's got a really nice handle, and I pinch it between these two. And by doing this, I can feel, and like I said, this comes with time, I can feel the right angle. So if I'm too sharp, it doesn't feel right. Like that one wasn't, that was too much of an exaggerated angle to get it right. And once you get good at it, you'll literally be able to hold it any way you want to. And you'll be able to feel through your knife. And I mean, there's a bunch of goofy things you can do to check sharpness and stuff like that. The only thing that I rely on is, does it cut my fish properly? And it should not at all be difficult to cut into a fish if you have a good blade. So I'm really hoping this helped a lot of people that might have any difficulties. Like I said, I'll post some photos of the type of blade and basically what you're doing to that blade. And I actually have a Amazon link for this specific one. It's, like I said, it was cheap and it has lasted me quite some time. And it's cool because you can just take this off, which is a rubber stop for this, so it's not digging into stuff, and plus it keeps it from sliding around. You throw this right in your dishwasher, right with your knife, and boom, good, clean stuff. Put this in there. And a big thing is, some people just like to leave their knives laying around. I will sharpen my knife. So, like I said, we'll go through this real quick. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And one thing I didn't go over was pressure and everything like that. Like I said, at a certain point you'll understand how hard to press and how little to press, but depending on how dull your blade was and how much material you need to realign and take off in order for it to get sharp again. So I sharpened it back up after it was cleaned, obviously. Put it away, keep it in your sheath, because that's how you keep knives sharp. You wouldn't just leave them, nice $100 knife laying around. It's a cheap knife, but if you sharpen it, it can stay good. So, like I said, I really hope it helped everybody, and hope everybody enjoyed the video. Talk to you later.